Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Wildcat Way Show, where our motto is pride, respect, class, and character. Today we have a very special guest on our show who actually graduated from Pearl River Community College in 2011, and he just recently was a part of a national championship win with the University of Georgia's football team. Gage, Whitten, welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you and that you're back in Poplarville, so tell us what it's like to be back home for a few days.
It's always nice anytime we get time off. We get a lot of time off in May, spring break usually every year, right after the season. It's always nice coming home and getting to see everybody.
Absolutely.
I get to see my family. I'm lucky here. My entire family lives here in Poplarville, so I get to see Granny. I get to see my parents. I get to see my brothers, my cousins. So it's always good to come back, especially good to come back to Pearl River.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your time here at Pearl River and what that was like for you, what you did while you were here.
Right. So growing up in Poplarville, I literally lived 2 miles down Beach Road from here. So I always knew I wanted to come here. Really wasn't interested in anywhere else. Really didn't apply to go anywhere else. I kind of knew I wanted to come here. Luckily, my senior year, I got in contact with Coach Whitten, so I began working with the football team here. As an equipment manager, actually, it's how it all started. Kind of needed a way to pay for school. I wasn't smart enough. I didn't have an academic scholarship, and I wasn't good enough athletically to get an athletic scholarship, so I needed a way to find a way to pay for school. So I found out through Coach Whitten that they had equipment managers that would basically be an academic scholarship and pay everything. And after doing it for a couple of weeks, I loved it. I knew it's what I wanted to do. So I did it my entire years, all my years here at Pearl River, and loved every minute of it.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about that role that you played and how that's led you into where you're at today.
So doing that here, like I said, I loved it. I knew it after a couple of weeks. It's what I wanted to do. Thought it was really cool. I always wanted to grow up working in sports. I wanted to be a coach. I didn't really know about equipment and that could be a career. It is kind of like a special, like basically career. It's not many jobs out there. So after doing it for a couple weeks, I knew it's what I wanted to do. I love doing it. It's being a part of the team, helping out the team. What I really like about it is you build a relationship with the coaches, but you also build relationships with the players because we outfit them with their helmets, their shoulder pads, their jerseys. So you're still involved with the team, but you're not just a coach and you're not just a player. You're kind of involved with everyone. So I really like the team aspect of it, being able to help out everyone and being involved. And then I really enjoyed it, so that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So let's see, after Pearl River, where did you go after that with the event managing? Right.
So I wanted to set up my career and wanted to go to the next school that was going to set me up for the most success possible for my future. So upon graduating from Pearl River, I transferred to the University of Alabama.
Okay.
So it was really cool there. I graduated from Tuscaloosa the fall of 2014. Worked with the football team there, learned a lot. I was very lucky. My boss there was Jeff Springer. He gave me an opportunity to start out as a volunteer. He basically said, yeah, if you get into school here, we don't have a paid spot, but we have a volunteer spot open for you. I said, okay, that's all I need. Once you're a volunteer and a paid position opens, they hire from the volunteers. So I worked there a year volunteering, and then I was promoted and got scholarship and worked with the team. Graduated in 2014 and learned a lot there. It was very, very cool.
Awesome. So then what happened after Alabama? Where did you go?
Right. So after graduating from Alabama, a former student from Alabama got the head football job, the head football equipment job at the University of Connecticut, UConn. And his assistant left after he had been there for about a month. So he called my former boss at Alabama and said, hey, I'm looking for an assistant coming here. We need to change things. I need, basically somebody to come up and move. He said, I got your guy. So luckily Jordan called me. And I moved to Connecticut. A boy from Poplarville moving to Connecticut.
That's a big jump.
It's a complete different. There's snow there every day. You have to warm your car up. It was really cool getting to live somewhere different. It's right between basically New York City and Boston. So you could go to Boston if you wanted to check that out. You could go to New York City. But it was very cool there. I wouldn't change any part of it. I loved it. We had a good group of support staff there, young coaches, young support staff. I learned a lot there. That was my first job out of college. I wouldn't want to change any of it. I didn't want to be there the rest of my life.
Right.
But I knew it was a good start for me. It was a great experience. I learned a lot. I made some good connections there. After 2 years there, I got the director job at UAB in Birmingham, University of Alabama, Birmingham.
So you got to come back a little bit south there.
Right,
yeah.
right.
A little bit more familiar to you.
Right. I got to come back south, and it was actually 45 minutes away from Alabama. So that was another big, in my opinion, perk of the job was my former boss was 45 minutes away. If I ever needed help or needed some assistance or anything like that, I could call him. I was back in the South. It was actually really cool there. UAB had shut their program down after my senior year of college. Once I got the director job there, was their first season back.
Okay.
Right, from the shutdown.
Timing.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a very cool story. If you're not familiar with it, look up UAB football and when they shut the program down in the fall of 2014. I was there for 2017 season, their first season back. We were very good. I believe we went 8-4. We went to the Bahamas Bowl, so that was an experience. That was their second bowl game ever as a program.
That's awesome.
It was really cool to be a part of, seeing the whole community just rally behind that program. First year back, we go to a bowl game. I think we were second in conference that year. It was a very special year. Now, his name's Coach Clark, Bill Clark, the head coach there. They built a new stadium there. It's incredible. The whole story there has changed everything. I believe it's revitalized the city. It's really cool.
That's incredible.
To be a part of that. I believe it was like a $400 million new stadium they just built. Really, really special.
Awesome.
To be a part of. After 1 year there, I was lucky enough, a spot came open at Georgia. It was the assistant spot, assistant director of football equipment. And having the Alabama ties with Coach Smart, he was the defensive coordinator at Alabama, and then he got the head coaching job at Georgia. Having that background and some mutual connections, that kind of helped get you there. Get me there, right? Loved it. Loved being back in the SEC. Big fan base, a lot of support there, a lot of resources, really good program. And then this past May, I got promoted to director of football equipment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. After 3 years, it's what I've wanted. Athens, Georgia is a very cool place. It's a very special place. It's a great college town, at a great school. And then this year is my first year as director. We win the national championship. So it was very cool, very neat.
That's super special too. That it's your first year and you're in that role, and then to have
against
the season,
Alabama.
Yes, with everything.
I'm an alumni of Alabama. It's crazy.
That is crazy. So tell us about. Let's kind of walk through what you actually do. So when you talk about I loved it and I fell in love with everything. Tell us what it is that you fell in love with, and kind of take us through a typical week leading up to a game at Georgia.
Right. So like we said earlier, it's not a very common job. It's not like being a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or a nurse or anything like that. So basically what we're in charge of is everything everyone wears in the building. So we're in charge of the cool stuff, the helmets, the players' gloves, the jerseys that the players wear. We're also in charge of the shoulder pads, the cleats they wear, basically anything the athlete wears, their workout clothes in the off season when we're just working out and training, to even their travel suits. When you see us get on the team plane, everyone's matching, we're in charge of the travel suits. To even what the coaches wear, their everyday practice clothes that they wear every day, the coaches' gear they wear on the sideline, the polos. Coach Smart always wears a special visor. We're in charge of all that. Game day clothes, travel clothes, practice clothes, day-to-day stuff. We're in charge of everything anyone wears. We also assist basically with running practice and setting up practice. We're lucky at Georgia. We have a lot of support and resources. I have 18 students that work for me, so that's really cool. Having 18 kids that are paid scholarship. They'll help run around. They'll set up drills for practice. They'll basically run practice. They'll hold the chains, the first down chains and stuff that way.
I bet that's really cool for them to be able to be a part of that. They love that.
It is, and it's gone full circle now that I've went from basically a student and now I'm the boss.
Yeah.
So it's full circle and kind of a short time because I graduated in 2014. It was just 7 years ago. I was a student. So it's kind of really cool to see that. You'll see a kid come in as an 18-year-old freshman. They'll graduate, they'll be 22, 23-year-old basically young man. So it's kind of cool to see them come in, see them mature, grow up.
Because there's so much growth that you do from that time period too.
From
the time
gosh.
that you're 18 to the time that you're 23.
Because every kid, when they're 16, they think they're grown up. They're not.
Right.
But that's just how it is, and we know that. And it's really cool because you'll see a kid come in, they're shy, they're timid, they're new, it's college, they're not in high school anymore, they're living in a dorm, completely lifestyle change. And then by the time they leave here, they're so confident in themselves, they're a leader amongst our equipment staff, they've just grown up so much. It's really cool. For me, it's very rewarding.
Absolutely. It's like you're a coach in that aspect.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's one of my goals personally is for them to be better and set up to succeed in life for being a part of our equipment program. And it's really cool to see that come to fruition.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I love that. It's also really cool, as a student, they get to travel with the team. So every road game, we get to bring 10 kids on the road. So they get to go, if we go to Kentucky for a football game. If we go to Dallas or wherever we might go, we get to bring 10 students. So that's really cool. They get to travel, stay in the team hotel, fly with the team. Some of them do. So it's really neat. They get to experience that. All of my students are able to go to the bowl games. So this year we were able to go to the Orange Bowl in Miami. We got to go to Miami for a week.
That's fun. It's
really neat. It's a little. We have to work there while we're there. We still have practice and everything on the bowl sides. But then, once we're done with work and practice, they can go do what they want to do. Then we got to go to Indianapolis for the national championship game. So they get to do all this traveling as well. So it's really cool.
To get those different experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
That these kids normally wouldn't have.
Absolutely.
So that's cool to me. And they travel with the team, so it's free. So that's pretty
right,
cool too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so you must get really close to the players and to the coaches since you're having to be in tune with them that much with your job. So
Right.
how close are you with the players and the coaches?
Right. So it's like you said, we're kind of a middleman between both of them. We're very involved with the players, the day-to-day stuff, because they have to have their stuff to practice. They have to have their gear to work out. It's our job to make sure they're in the safest equipment for them as possible. So every kid, when we bring them in, we custom fit them for helmets, shoulder pads. We have a 3D foot scanner. We scan their feet. The scanner is partnered with Nike, so then it shows us which cleat is best for each athlete.
Wow.
So it's literally we make sure they're in the safest equipment as possible for them. And through that process, you can kind of build relationships and a trust factor. Because sometimes they'll say, "Well, Gage, what do you think? What's the best one?" And I'll say, "Well, this one might be the best for you." It's all athlete by athlete.
Right.
And then it's kind of cool too seeing those players come in. They're these highly recruited freshmen. They're the best high school football players, in their area, in their towns, and everything. And then they get to Georgia. It's very similar to our kids. When they leave there, they're so much older. They're so much more mature. They're a leader. So it's cool seeing that part with the players, seeing them grow up as well.
Absolutely.
And hopefully they get drafted, make a lot of money, and have successful careers in the NFL.
Yeah, you can say, "I know that guy. I paid him for his cleats."
Right.
Exactly.
So it's really neat. And then with the coaches, that's the more professional side of it. We have to make sure we have everything they want. Coach Smart, he has a standard, and we never want to let Coach down. So we always make sure we try to have everything whatever they want, we make sure we have ready for them. So it's fun. There's always something going on. It's fun. I love it.
Absolutely. And like you said, it is fun, and it seems like it's got to be like a sports fan's dream job to be able to do what you do. But it has to be even more cool that it was for a program that wins a national championship.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that win and the preparation that it took for you for that game, and then how it was to actually be there and for them to win that game.
Right. We've been so close every year basically that I've been there. To getting in the playoff. The year before I got there, they went to the national championship game against Alabama. So we've been close the whole time to getting back to the playoff, having a chance to win a championship. So it was really cool to be a part of. So one thing, like I mentioned earlier, for say our bowl site, usually our road games, we load our equipment truck with just what we need for a game. So our game day stuff, the players' uniforms, the coaches' game day stuff, that's it. Basically anything we need for a game. Going to a bowl site is completely different. You have to prepare a lot more because you're down in Miami, for example, this year for a week.
Right.
So we have to bring practice equipment. We have to set up a laundry schedule. We outsource our laundry, so we have to have a contact that comes pick up laundry every day and then drops it off. So it's a lot more work for a bowl game because you're basically moving your entire equipment room, your football facility on the road. Because it's not just a game. You get there, you play the next day, you fly back. You're there for a whole week practicing, treatments, rehab. We worked out once when we were down there, so we found a weight room that was good for our football team. So it's a whole different aspect and preparation that goes into a bowl game. Luckily, after the SEC championship game, we had about, I think, 3.5 to 4 weeks to prepare for it, so we had time to prep. But right after the Orange Bowl, we had to get ready to go to Indianapolis for our national championship game. So we left. The game was on Monday for the national championship game. We advanced early on Thursday, and the team flew in on Friday. So we still had one practice there in Indianapolis, and then we had basically a walkthrough the day before the game. So it's a lot more work, these bowl games, going into it than just a regular game.
Absolutely. It seems like you've got to be really organized, too.
Well, we try. We
Yeah.
try.
With student workers, I bet that's kind of a little hard.
Right.
But for the most part,
Right.
having to be really organized.
And we've got really good kids. We're lucky. A lot of the kids that we have work for us, they grew up Georgia fans. they're from Georgia. They grew up Georgia fans. It's always been their dream to work with the football team. So it means something to them,
Right.
It matters to them. So it's always really cool we're lucky at Georgia that we have kids that want to work there. So that helps out as well.
Absolutely. So by the time that you get to the game and you're there in Indianapolis and it's Monday morning, how's it going that day?
Right. So just this is behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't realize is we're in charge. We kind of help out in charge of luggage. So Monday morning, the day of every bowl game, the morning from 10 to 2, we travel around 400 people to these bowl games.
Oh my goodness.
Staff members, their families, all the players, coaches' wives, everyone comes. Several people in our athletic department. Our travel party is around 400 people. So they have to bring luggage. So to save time, we basically bring luggage. We don't load it on a plane or anything like that. We put it on an 18-wheeler truck. So the morning of the game, from 10 to 2, we're picking up luggage, all the family's luggage, family crates. You'll see walkers for children, all this stuff. So that's pretty cool. So we get that done. Once the luggage is picked up, we head to the stadium around 5 hours before the game. So I believe we left around 3. The kickoff was around 8. Get to the stadium, and then it's go time. We basically just set up everything on the sideline. We test our headsets to make sure they're working, make sure the locker room's tidy, and then the team gets there 2 hours before the kickoff. And then once the team gets there, it's full go.
Kind of like on a run.
Just
or,
rolling.
Yeah.
It never stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people, they don't really think this makes sense, but during the game is the slowest part of the day for us.
Right, it's like you finally get to relax.
Right, because the team's dressed. They got all their clothes on. Everyone's got their stuff. They're good. Unless a helmet explodes, basically, or a jersey rips. The game is the slowest part for us. Now, before the game, we have to get everyone dressed. We have to make sure everyone has everything. Post-game, we have to clean everything up, pack it all up back on the truck. That's our busy times. But during the game's actually
it's actually
nice.
fun.
Yeah,
It's enjoyable. You get to watch the game and just kind of like relax for a moment. Everything's going well.
Right,
so
right.
That's awesome. Well, so winning that game, was everybody really excited about it?
It was very special. It was the first national championship I ever won, so it was special for me, especially doing it against Alabama. But it was just so cool for our team because Alabama, they knocked us out several times before in the national championship in 2018. The year after that, they beat us in the SEC championship. Last year, we lost to them in the regular season. They beat us again this year in the SEC championship. So it was nice, one, that we were national champions. Two, we went through them and beat them for the championship. But also for the University of Georgia, we hadn't won a national championship since 1980. So it had been over 40 years.
It's been a minute.
It has been a very long time. And Georgia has had so many good teams. They've had through the years. They've had so many good players come through there. It was just very rewarding for everyone involved, all of our fans, our administration, our school, to finally get there and do it. So it was really cool. We had our parade this past Saturday in Athens. It was very special. We actually filled up our stadium. We had 93,000 people at our stadium for our parade, which is like unheard of. Because it's hard to fill up a stadium when it's not a game day.
When there's nothing,
when
exactly.
It's not a game day. We filled it up, sold out. So it was very special to be a part of it. It was really cool.
That's
really
really
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you got to be a part of that, and especially like you said, with you coming into this new director role and everything like that, and this being your first year there, or in that role, and you win a national championship with them.
It was very special.
Cool.
So I guess first year we got to do it every year.
Right. Exactly. There you go. Just set the pattern for the rest of the time.
Right.
We'll kind of come back to Pearl River since we're here, and tell us a little bit about like the changes on campus since you've been here. You're back on campus today. Whenever you drove up and everything, I mean, Pearl River's gotten a pretty big facelift since you've been here.
It has.
So tell us a little bit about coming back on campus.
I love it. I love it here. Every time I come home, I always drive through campus just to see. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I can tell something's going on.
Yeah.
I consider anytime anything's being built as progress. Like Patrick just showed me, they're building a new scoreboard with the baseball stadium. I believe they've done a lot of renovations over there. Because don't we have a new softball facility, I think?
New softball facility coming, yeah, absolutely.
So that's really neat. Just walking in here, seeing everything they've done with the football building was very neat. All my friends joke, but anytime I have a new friend, say, come home to Poplarville or anything like that, I always bring them through Pearl River and show them, because they've heard me talk about Pearl River. So I'll show them, hey, this used to be the old football building. Now it used to be here. Now this is the new football building. This used to be our practice field. Now I believe it's the athletic dorms, I believe.
Yeah.
So then I'll show them the jumbotron here and the turf field. So it's always really cool. Basically every time I come home, there's something new here that Pearl River's doing. So that's special. And the new gym's incredible. I believe I got to walk it 2 years ago. Walk through there. So it's really cool. Really special. Seeing everything that Pearl River's doing. They're heading in the right direction. It's really cool.
That's neat. Well, we're glad that it's something that you can be proud of coming back
Oh my
to
gosh.
something like this, and that you can be proud that you went to school here, you graduated from here, and this is kind of like the legacy that you can come back to.
Right. It's nice. I love it.
So do you ever get to like watch the games, or do you keep up with the football team still?
Yes, it's actually really neat. It's kind of become a tradition everywhere I've been since here. So for us, we play on Saturdays. So we'll load our equipment truck up Thursday after practice. If we're going on the road, we have our 18-wheeler. If we are at home, we have a box truck we load up. We pack up all the players' bags because on Fridays is when we set up the game day locker room, the game day at the stadium. So every Thursday night, it's kind of become a tradition, whether I was at UConn or UAB or now Georgia, that I will live stream the games. So luckily it's very easy. I'll just always go on the website. If you want to watch the game, live stream the games. So every Thursday night I'll have the games up, no matter if we're playing at Dolby Holden or we're on the road. I'll have it on our big screen live streaming, and the kids look forward to it. So we'll be able to watch all the games. It keeps me up to date on what's happening. So it's really cool. I still tune in and watch as many games as I can on Thursday nights.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tradition that we've started.
Absolutely. Well, that's cool because you're getting ready to play your games and you're still tuning in back into Pearl River and what we're doing. That's awesome.
It's home.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming to today's show and being on the show and telling us all about, what you do and where you've gone since you left Pearl River. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you to everyone, too, for tuning in to this episode of the Wildcat Way Show. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch this show and any other shows that we have in the future. And you can also listen to this as a podcast on any of the podcast platforms that you want to listen to it on. And we thank you, and we hope that you continue to live your life the Wildcat way.